the selective reabsorption takes place in three different type of areas. Let's discussing the selective reabsorption will be continued. Occurs in proximal convoluted PCT, distal convoluted tubule, and Henle, what is that, collective duct. The selective reabsorption process takes place in three regions. Very detailed information about the excretory system. Okay, which one? What is the proximal convoluted tubule? Afferent blood vessel, efferent blood vessel, Bowman's capsule, glomerular. So this is known as a proximal convoluted PCT. What is the PCT? Proximal convoluted tubule is a first looping of the renal tubule. So how can I able to reabsorb? First one, these are reabsorption of proximal convoluted tubule, reabsorption of by the two ways. First one, active process. These are expenditure of the energy and reabsorption of in this region consistent of rich amount of the mitochondria. Note down everyone. The proximal convoluted tubule consistent of rich amount of the mitochondria, and it is consistence of brush bordered cells. So what is the importance? These brush bordered cells and what is the mitochondria? These mitochondria give the instant energy from the active process. So these are active process, absorption of glucose molecule. The glucose is reabsorption. The glucose reabsorption takes place in proximal convoluted tubule. Very, very important. The glucose and water molecule. Glucose and water molecules are 100% takes place in proximal convoluted tubules. By the mitochondria are releasing of energy by the ATP form. This expenditure of the ATP by using of active process. So these two glucose and water molecules are reabsorbed in proximal convoluted tubule region. So next one. So what is the importance of the brush border cells? These brush border cells are essential for increasing the absorption surface area. Reabsorption, nothing but reabsorption surface area. How much? 100% of the glucose and water takes place in proximal convoluted tubule in the active process. In the active process, the sodium, note down everyone, sodium and calcium only. Sodium and calcium ions are 75% of the sodium. Only 70% of the calcium are reabsorbed by the active process. The active process takes place in proximal convoluted tubule of the sodium and chloride ions. Next one. In the passive process, how many processes are there? Two processes. Proximal convoluted tubule shown, active process and passive process. The active process, their absorption of the glucose and water approximately 100%. In the active process, the expenditure of the energy utilizing and absorption of sodium and calcium ions approximately 75%. Approximately how much? 75% of sodium, 70% of chloride ions. Next one, passive process, the absorption of what is that? vitamins, absorption of vitamins, some amount of the ions like a potassium. So there is no expenditure of the energy. So there is no expenditure of the energy from, let's see the diagram. So these afferent blood vessels are looping of the proximal convoluted tubule. Looping of the proximal convoluted tubule. Like this. Very detailed anatomical structure of the nephron. Concentrate. So this is next one. Proximal convoluted tubule is completed. Next one. What is that loop? What is the descending limb? Second one is descending limb. Descending limb. So the descending limb is nothing but it is a long arm. It is there in the long region. So nothing but. So it is a one of the arm. It is there is a deeper region of the medullary region. Deeper of the medullary region or long of the medullary region. So it is absorption. It is absorption water molecules. Nothing but it is a permeable for the water, impermeable of the ions. Which one? The descending limb. The descending limb. The descending limb. Descending limb is permeable. Permeable for water molecules. Water molecules. Permeable for the water molecules for the reabsorption process. Permeable for the water molecule for the reabsorption process, not non-permeable for ions, non-permeable for the ions. Which type of ions? These are non-permeable of the only three ions: sodium, potassium and calcium. It is never permeable, never allowing of their distal convoluted, never allowing of the descending limb region. Okay, clear? So the descending limb, it is also responsible for the reabsorption of the primary urine. So these are absorption of the permeable for the water molecules, non-permeable for the ions. Non-permeable for the ion. The last one, the third one is this. What is that? Ascending limb and descending limb and ascending limb. So ascending limb. So the ascending limb. So the ascending limb. It is also permeable. It is a permeable of the ions, non-permeable of the water molecules. Very. These are opposite of the ascending limb is completely opposite of the descending limb. Ascending limb. It is only permeable of ions, sodium, chloride, and potassium. It is allowing of sodium, potassium and calcium. So non-permeable of the water. Non-permeable of the water. Next one, it is leads into the looping of the posterior region, that is known as a distal convoluted tubule. The distal convoluted tubule, it is a permeable of the water only. It is permeable of the water. Now, it is a permeable of the water in the proximal convoluted tubule and water and glucose. So the blood, what is that? The primary urine will become concentrated. The primary urine will become concentrated. The concentration of the primary urine is called as a, hypertonic urine. When it is reabsorption of the water molecule from the primary urine. Reabsorption of the water from the primary urine. So there is a less amount of the water was there in urine region, that is converts into concentrated. The concentrated urine is called as a hypertonic urine. The concentrated urine is called as a hypertonic urine. When it reaches into ascending limb, it is only permeable for the sodium and potassium ions, non-permeable of the water molecules. So in this region, the urine is hypotonic. Why? Because it is a releasing of water molecules into ascending limb region. Releasing of water into ascending limb region. So there is the urine will become hypotonic in nature. So the distal convoluted tubule, again these water molecules are reabsorbed by the distal convoluted tubule. So the urine will become concentrated. The concentrated urine is collected by the large duct. The large duct is called as a collective duct. Collective duct. The large duct is called as a collective duct. Are you clear? So the majorly, the takes place is majorly present in proximal convoluted tubule, distal convoluted tubule, and descending limb, ascending limb, and next one collective duct. So the reabsorption process takes place in proximal convoluted tubule, distal convoluted tubule, descending limb, ascending limb, and collective duct. So this is the selective reabsorption takes place in different type of the region of the nephron. Are you clear? Next, you are discussing, move forward, what is that? Secretion. Are you clear? Yes. Secretion. What is the secretion? So these are reabsorption of the water molecules, ions, some amount of the vitamins are there. So our body, it's need some, some volume of the water, some amount of the vitamins, some amount of the glucose. So excess amount of these substances are elimination are nothing but releasing out from the peritubular blood vessels. Peritubular blood vessels. That process is known as a secretion. That process is known as a secretion. Third one is secretion. The process of urine formation. The third process is known as a secretion. What is the secretion? Elimination of excess amount of the water. Note down everyone. Water, ions. Water, ions. Excretion nothing but elimination of in secretion only. I am not excretion. In secretion, elimination or removes secretion of excess amount of water and what is that? Ions comes out from which one? Peritubular blade and what is that? Particular nephric organs. Okay, let's see the secretion. First one, the secretion takes place in only two regions, that is proximal convoluted tubule and distal convoluted tubule. So what is that? The secretion only takes place in which regions? Two regions, that is called first one proximal convoluted tubule. First one, the proximal convoluted tubule. Let's see the diagram and how able to secrete the excess amount of the excess amount of the ions and water. The diagram, it is useful for easy to understand. Okay, so in this Bowman's capsule and containing one number of the, I am using blue color, the looping of proximal convoluted tubule. Okay, so the excess amount of the water molecules and what are they? Water molecules and ions are elimination from their tubular blood vessels. These tubular blood vessels are releasing the tubular blood vessel. This is tubular blood vessel. This is called as a proximal convoluted tubule. The excess amount of the water molecules and excess amount of the ions are enters into the proximal convoluted tubule by the diffusion method. Which method? Diffusion method. For the diffusion method. Only diffusion from from the peritubular blood vessel to proximal convoluted tubule. So the proximal convoluted tubule, it is receives which type of what is the molecules are there? First one is water, some amount of the ions, uric acid, and very very essential and toxic material is known as hippuric acid. Last one is creatine. So these are directly collected by proximal convoluted tubule, PCT. Proximal convoluted. These are four are water, ions, uric acid, hippuric acid, and creatine. These are excess amount of these are directly enters into the proximal convoluted tubule through the peritubular blood vessel. In which process? In diffusion process. Are you clear? Next one, distal convoluted tubule. So the distal convoluted tubule, it is a second loop of the nephron, that is a renal tubule. So the distal convoluted tubule, it is also the looping of peritubular blood vessel. So it is also secretes which one? Peritubular blood vessel secretes excess amount of the water. Very very important. Sodium, not ion, only sodium and calcium ions, not potassium. And creatine. Last one is uric acid. There is no uric acid, but this is containing uric acid. So the DCT is finally leads into collective duct. Which duct? Collective duct. The collective duct enters into the minor calyces or minor calyx. Minor calyx 2 leads into one of the large funnel like tubule. Major calyx. The major calyx 2 leads into funnel like pelvis. Pelvis to ureter. Ureter to urinary bladder. Urinary bladder to urethra. Urethra to outside of the body, that is called as excretion. So this is known as it is that urine formation. The urine excretes through the urethra, which comes out of the body. So that is commonly known as a urine or uric acid. Okay, the primary urine containing more amount of the substances which are essential for their metabolic activities. Are you clear? Urine formation, this majorly involves into the three processes are there. First one is ultrafiltration. This ultrafiltration is commonly known as a glomerular filtration or Malpighian filtration. Second one is selective reabsorption. Third one is secretion. Are you clear? So that was the proximal. Last one, selective reabsorption, consistent of the elimination of excess amount of the water and comes out from the peritubular blood vessel to the nephron region. Okay.